I'm Thomas Troche.
And I'm Henry Lopez.
And you're watching TMA!
Whoa, Thomas, it seems like we're in a different spot than usual.
Well, I've been tracking Will down to bring us to justice, and the trail of clues led here.
Well, if he's here, why are we shooting here?
Well, because they have a really cool studio. Thanks to American Farm Bureau for letting us shoot here.
Well, Thomas, before we go any further, I really gotta get something off my chest.
Well, save it for after we catch Will. Anyways, Titans, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Please pause for the moment of silence.
Good day, Titans. Welcome back to the biggest morning announcement show in the ACHS.
I'm Henry Lopez.
And I'm Thomas Troche.
Today's Thursday, April 11th, 2024.
Hope you enjoyed your small break, because I sure didn't. This detective stuff is hard.
Why do you even do it then? I thought you were only in it for the trench coat and stuff like that.
Well, because I can't let criminals roam free around the city.
Well, whatever. Do you just want to go to the announcements so you can go and catch your suspect?
Yeah, sure, why not? Eid al-Fitr is a Muslim holiday that marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan and the beginning of the Shawwal month. It is also known as the festival of breaking fast. Our Titan celebrated Iftar, the breaking of the fast the Titan way. TMA producers Abdullah Khan and Emily Lemus were on the scene.
Hello Titans, today we are here at the Grand Iftar dinner at ACHS when Muslims gather around after sunset to break their fast during Ramadan. Let's take a look around. Ramadan is a very important part of Islam. It is a period of introspection, communal prayer in the mosque, and trying to get closer to their faith. God forgives the past sins. Muslims fast not only from food, but from sinning in general. What a sight. Let's ask some questions to our fellow Titans who are participating. What does Ramadan mean to you?
To me, Ramadan is a time where I can learn self-control and get closer to my deen, learn more about my religion, and just overall become a better Muslim for myself.
It is the month we all can communicate and collaborate, where we do charity, help with others. I really love Ramadan.
It is symbolic of my submission to the will of Allah, and it is the holiest time for Muslims all over the world.
What is the hardest part of fasting?
The hardest part of fasting is you have to keep it up. That's to say, not only to stop yourself from eating and drinking, but it's also from any other things, wrongdoing. The hardest part is, of course, being really hungry.
The fasting is the easiest part, being catching up with all the prayers and waking up for the sahur is the hardest part because you can't sleep that much.
Well, it looks like it's time for iftar. Let's go eat. What an amazing event. Looks like I've had enough food. I'm Emily Lemus with Abdullah Khan behind the camera, and you're watching TMA.
Yes, Ramadan and Iftar came early this year, but our Titans were in full swing to celebrate. I hope you were there to celebrate with them, because if you weren't, you missed a great event. Thanks again to Abdullah and Emily.
Class of 25 is having a bake sale at Delray Farmers Market, Saturday the 13th from 8 to 12 p.m. There will be delicious baked goods. Help them raise money for next year's prom.
If you did not get to see this year's spring musical, Bring It On, you're in luck. It will be on again this weekend. It will be this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all at 7:30 p.m. Tickets are $15 for adults and $10 for ACPS employees, students, and senior citizens. You can buy tickets at the link in the description. You won't want to miss this.
The Summer Youth Employment Program is still open for registration. Eligible students will earn up to $12 an hour, but should work at least 30 hours per week. It's open to Alexandria residents ages 14 to 21. It's from June 26th to August 8th.
For today's Women in Film, we're celebrating the 1990s with film editor Thelma Schoonmaker. For sure you've heard of at least one of her movies she's worked on.
Goodfellas, Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, The Wolf of Wall Street, After Hours, The Departed. Movies that define generations, redefine mainstream cinema as we know it. Martin Scorsese, Marty, the auteur whose brilliance gifted us some of the best movies of all time, spanning 6 decades with his godly direction. But what if he didn't do it alone? What if from his debut in 1967 all the way to his latest in 2023, he had someone behind him? Enter Thelma Schoonmaker. Born in Algeria and forced to evacuate to the US in the wake of World War II, she enrolled in a brief filmmaking course at NYU. Here's where she'd meet Scorsese, and has since edited 27 of his projects, from Shutter Island to The King of Comedy. But what does an editor even do? Any jerk with a MacBook can splice a couple clips on Premiere, choose the best out of a handful of takes, and accept their editing Oscar, right? Wrong. Editing makes a film, and is arguably as creatively demanding as directing. To detail Schoonmaker's distinct editing expertise, let's zoom in on one of Scorsese's peaks, the 90s. Times were changing, and movies were changing too. In 1990, Goodfellas took the world by storm with its hyper-stylized, brutal tone. So much of Scorsese's hallmark aesthetics are at display here. The freeze frame, his subtle speeding up of footage, his obsession with dissolves. This just continued throughout the decade with Casino, Cape Fear, Bringing Out the Dead. But these aren't just Scorsese's bright ideas. So much of his iconography comes from editing decisions the duo made together. Fierce collaborators who inject their shared genius into the millions of frames they've tackled. Schoonmaker may not be a household name like Marty, but she deserves every drop of glory. True artistic connection like Schoonmaker and Scorsese is a once-in-a-generation find, and that connection has inspired some of cinema's best achievements.
I never knew she edited Goodfellas. I'll make sure to check out more of her work. Who knows what else she has cooking up?
The APISU will be having a Thailand and China Culture Showcase today, Thursday, in room B308. Come to learn about these 2 amazing cultures and upcoming APISU events for the end of the school year. All are welcome and snacks will be provided.
The Day of Silence is observed every year on the 2nd Friday of April. This year, it's tomorrow, April 12th. This observance is led by the student community to bring awareness to the bullying of lesbian, bisexual, gay, and transgender students. On this particular day, they vow to be silent for the whole day as a symbolic representation of the silencing of the LGBTQ+ community. The day is sponsored by the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network, otherwise known as GLSEN.
Well, now we're done with the announcements, Thomas. I think it's time I tell you.
Yeah, alright. So what is it, Henry?
All of this playing detective, searching for Will, it's kind of taking a big toll on me, and I think it's probably best I take a break.
Well, that sucks because I just got a huge tip that makes me think that Will's in Puerto Rico, so...
Puerto Rico? That actually doesn't sound that bad. Maybe we could do like one more adventure?
Well, lucky because I actually double booked the tickets, so I happen to have an extra.
Oh, when's the flight?
Well, it's going to be right after our last show, so the timing works out pretty well.
Actually lines up extremely well. Hopefully Dominic has a good time finding a new host.
He's got it, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but he's probably not finding better hosts than us, though.
That's true.
Okay, well, bye, Titans.
Bye, Titans.
Oh, dude, that's cool.
What if I punch myself?
Did you like reach up and punch yourself? Like
Oh.
Oh, dude, I'm like boxing myself. I'm gonna box you through the TV. Bam, bam, bam.